between two conflicting testimonies.
All right, Trump has more claims of voter fraud. It's going down. Like I said, please, if you know anything about the voter fraud, first contact the police. Okay, contact your local police department and report what you've seen. Let's be real. Report it to the police. Then report it to the Angry Patriot. TAPX, your boy, Uncle Tap, I got you. Halloween candy. You let me know what's good, because I don't want our democracy being subverted by thieves who would have it just no democracy for anybody, just voting how you want. So I want to know what's good on the voter fraud. You let me know. I'm pissed, okay, about this fraud, because Donald Trump should be the president. I mean, you know, he didn't win the Electoral College. He didn't even get enough votes to qualify to win. Oh, but it's because the steal. Stop the steal. Anyway, let's see what this knucklehead, I mean, this man.
Tonight, President Trump's latest claim that Dominion voting systems deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide, triggering this response from his own Department of Homeland Security. There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised.
It's very difficult to find plausible that scale of votes being lost, deleted, or changed undetected.
We talked to voting system expert Eddie Perez.
So you're saying a heist of the election of this scale is just not conceivable?
It is not conceivable on that scale, given the fact that election administration, technology, trusted officials, and transparent documentation, and a complex multi-layered system of cross-checks and safeguards.
Though he says Dominion machines in a
Okay, so the Director of Homeland Security is saying that's not likely.
County in Michigan and in Georgia did create problems. In Michigan, flipping 3,000 or more Trump votes to Biden. The problem was found and corrected by Michigan election officials.
You could certainly characterize those incidents as technical glitches. I would go a step further and say they really had to do with user error in using the technology, not in the software itself.
In the last few days, NBC News has spoken to more than a dozen state election chiefs.
Again, that's Director of Homeland Security. Obviously, you know, if someone who's a MAGA person hears that, they're going to be like, well, fire him. Fire anybody who doesn't say that it's fraud. I mean, shit, if you're living in that world, you can just say whatever the hell you want and just find the person who will agree with it. That is fascism, people. I mean, when you're a president and you're like, manufacture the fraud. I've lost 2.9 million votes. He's just making up an arbitrary number. He has no proof. Or like, tell it, like, how did, like, did you just like someone knew it was going, these 2.9 million votes were going to be for you and then made him disappear, X'd him out? I don't know who is doing this. Is this a nationwide thing? Did it happen in just one state? Did it happen in multiple states? Did it happen in just the states you didn't win? Did it happen in some of the states you won and didn't win? They're just, I don't know. I mean, to prove things, you need proof. Wow, that sounds so like rudimentary. But I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. Like, if you want to prove, or here, how about this? If you want me to believe you, then provide some proof. I'm not MAGA. Shit, I like Bernie Sanders, but if Bernie Sanders was like voter fraud, I mean, look, if you told me the mainstream media effed him over by, you know, by crapping on his media, on his how much airtime he got, and always talking negatively about him, sure, I'll go ahead and agree with you that and say the DNC probably screwed him over in a bunch of ways. You know, all right, whatever. I got you. I'm totally on board with that. Fuck the DNC. But then to just out and out say Bernie lost because of voter fraud. His rallies were way bigger than Joe Biden's. It's like, no, like the DNC just coalesced and beat his brains out because that's what they do. You know, there's no point in crying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's like if Bernie started to like say, oh, I got cheated and he didn't have any proof, I would have zero respect for him because I actually don't care about Bernie Sanders like that. I only care that he follows the same policies I do. I'm not, like with MAGA, they care more about Trump himself than they do about democracy or like voting or who should win or they don't even care about fraud one way or another. It's just something to say. It's like we were at a WWF knockout match and shit, and like the bad guy cheated, he used fraud, and we're the good guys, and they're fraudulent. You know, they're just cheering. They wouldn't even get. I've not heard one person. They're just saying there's proof of fraud. I'm like, okay, well, how? What are people doing? Are they like going to graveyards and taking names from the dead and somehow like they do know how to like? I would love to see a video of a right winger who says voter fraud, like the quartering, that knucklehead or some shit like that. I would like to hear him say a video of actually like what kind of voter fraud is being done, because honestly the real voter fraud is by the Republicans. They're the ones that do gerrymandering. They're the ones who benefit from gerrymandering. They're the ones who benefit from the Electoral College, where you can win presidency and not win the popular vote, as Trump did in 2016, as did Bush against Gore. His first win, he won a popular vote by like 500 million and won. I mean, the second time around he won by a good margin, but the first time he didn't, and Trump didn't. So the Electoral College totally favors Republicans. If they didn't have it, they what would they do? It's their last hope. You know what I mean? It's the last white hope. If you didn't have no Electoral College, you wouldn't win. You wouldn't have won the first one. You wouldn't have won the Trump one. Trash-ass Hillary would have won. Thank goodness she didn't. You know what I mean? Look, if we only have to deal with one Trump presidency, it's worth it to knock that nonsense garbage out of people's mouths. We're like, post-racial America. Because white people are always trying to run away from having to deal with race, especially the neoliberal ones. I mean, at least the freaking right-wingers admit it. They want a race war. They admit race is a problem to them. Right-wingers are like, I don't see, or liberals, I don't see color. I don't know what the problem is. Those races don't make sense to me. Yeah, racism doesn't make sense. It's highly illogical, but y'all still want to fuck with them. Stupid neoliberals. They make me want to, whatever. Let's not go on a little neoliberal rant. But let's, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, Trump won last time, and then he lost the popular vote, but you won the Electoral College. And again, Hillary Clinton, you know, Hillary Clinton, even 4 years later, act like I should have won. She a little arrogant little punk, and she thinks she should have won. And she wanted motherfuckers to just bow down to her because of her like inherent betterness. Because that's all these motherfuckers are running on now. I'm slightly better than Donald Trump. What you want a center right Democrat, or you want a frickin' Nazi? That's what we got now. That's our choice. We got Crime Bill Joe. I mean, they're both sexual. Whatever. I don't even want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? They're both foolish. They're both touchy on. I feel like they're about some touchy no wanty shit. You know, they both on that. They both don't frick. You know, Joe Biden, his policies put a lot of black people in jail. Now, I won't blame Joe Biden too much because he's a product of the time, and everybody wanted black people to go to jail. So even black people wanted black people to go to jail. So, I mean, it was crazy at that time. So, you know, whatever. He was just doing the pedestrian white man thing to do in the 80s with the crime bill. Everybody wanted. It's not like many people was like, no, don't do that. They were like, we know who's going to jail. We know who's going to suffer the most from it. So let it be what it be. Okay, so Homeland Security. I mean, who do these right wingers want? They love the police. Homeland Security is the 5-0. That's the Jakes right there. So I mean, like the Jakes themselves telling you no fraud, homie. How do you better luck next time? Better luck next, fascist. Maybe Tucker Carlson next time will come
across the country, Republicans and Democrats alike, who say there is simply no evidence backing up the president's claims of wide-scale fraud or even mistakes that would change the ultimate outcome. In Michigan, 3 lawsuits focus on Wayne County, alleging fraud in the counting of votes in Detroit.
The process actually worked extraordinarily well.
We spoke to Michigan's Democratic Secretary of State.
This is what fascists do, too. They just undermine, like, basic processes. I mean, you know, the voting thing, it's like whatever. Like, there might be some issues with voting. But, I mean, again, ultimately, all the votings come from the Democratic side. It should be the Democrat. If the Democrats, like corporate Democrats are useless, but if they fought for regular people, they'd be talking about all the gerrymandering and making laws against that. But you got to give white supremacy a chance. So you let them gerrymander. So you give them the Electoral College. Keep hope alive, man. We you know, one day we're going to get that ethno state. I wonder how hard we're going to go to fascism. I honestly do. Because if Joe Biden fails, like I honestly feel he will, and people's material life, like 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. We don't have no social safety net. The epidemic has totally exposed the fact that most Americans are like on the doorstep of tragedy. You just takes one thing and you're gone. Your grandma, your mama, your family members, your pops, your grandpa. It doesn't, like, you lose all of that shit, and not so much as a second thought. You know what I mean? We lost 250,000 people to this shit. Dead. 250,000 dead. In a year. Less than a year. 250,000 people darn near. In America. You know what I'm saying? And people still voted for Trump. This fool's like, yeah, let's just pretend the pandemic didn't exist. I don't, you know, I do exactly get a right-winger. Right-wingers don't give a fuck about you, me, anything like that. They care about themselves and about winning. Let 8,000 people get murdered in a year by black people, and that'll mean a black man is inherently the most dangerous person that ever existed when there's 40 million black people in America. But let a COVID virus kill 250 people. Nah, whatever. I don't. Let's just get back to work. It's just like they don't have no principles. So again, you already heard me. I don't argue with these motherfuckers. What's there to argue with? If you already know what it is, life's too short for that shit. Life's too short to be arguing with the motherfucker who like doesn't want to believe in a pandemic. Wants to fucking bring an AR out to protest because someone's asking them to wear a mask. Okay, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, it's like, if I just want to go into a room pre-pandemic, let's say before the pandemic, back to simpler times, and I'm just going to go in the room, just start sneezing on fools, and then if someone's like, hey, dude, can you cover your mouth when you sneeze? I'm going to be like, hey, why are you trying to impede on my freedoms, tyrant? I just want to sneeze how I want to sneeze. Why you got to get me to cover my face? That's tyranny. It's America. I sneeze how I want to sneeze. What the fuck is that shit? What is that selfish, self-centered, narcissistic, sociopathic, anti-personality disorder-y type motherfucking shit? Where someone's asking you, hey, cover your face so you don't get your shit on people. And motherfuckers are losing their mind. Where you want to protest that. How many videos of Karens do we see going out in a pandemic spitting on people? These motherfuckers that don't believe in science. They don't believe in shit. But you still have to take them when they get sick. You still got to take them in the hospital. You should be able to. You should be forced to be like, sign some shit like, okay, do you believe in the pandemic or not? You don't believe in it? Then when it's time to go to the hospital, nah, homie, you gotta stay home. Why do doctors have to risk their lives for people who don't even want to believe in shit? Why do nurses and the people who are working, administrators, people just working day to day, people trying to visit their family, people who don't have COVID and are just going to the hospital anyway, why do these people have to be inundated with all of these knuckleheads? That shit's not right. It's not fucking fair. And no one ever talks about that shit. It's not right. It's not right that these people they can just act however they want. And then at the end of the day, oh, kick gloves. It's like fucking ridiculous. Act like preschoolers. And then it's like, oh no, let's always coddle them. Let's coddle them all day, every day. These people don't want to believe in no mask. They don't want to believe in no results of an election. And still we're supposed to be like, yeah, but think of their feelings. Who was thinking of anybody's feelings when these guys were going crazy in the streets, killing people for protesting, igniting, causing trouble at the protests to make it seem like these people who were just peaceful protesting were like calling them Antifa, like being against fascism is some shit. Yeah, everybody should be Antifa. Every goddamn motherfucking person should be anti-fascist in America, goddammit. We done fought a war against Nazis in 1940s. Do you remember? Some of y'all motherfuckers don't because y'all hate history. Nazis hate history. That's why, oh, Antifa. Yeah, I'm Antifa. This is what it looks like right here. This motherfucker right here. I hate a fascist. Fuck him.